Hi everyone, Lisa Fazio, artist here at the studio. Relax and sit back and enjoy. We're going to be doing some wonderful art that's just for you. So sit back and take some notes and welcome. So for today's segment, we are going to work on doing some artwork. We're going to learn how to intermingle that with meditation and with journaling. And I have a couple of samples here, and I will go through each one, and you're going to have a lot of fun at the end of the segment where you can then find out how you can get involved in your own art process. So welcome. So for starters, I don't know if any of you have any art background or not, but some of you might have some old paints running around and you're not sure what to do with it. So I am a watercolorist. Again, my name is Lisa Fazio, artist.com. If you have any questions during the segment, be happy to send them to my website and I will be happy to answer you. Wonderful. So we're going to be working with watercolor, and some of you might have had watercolors back in the day that are kind of old tubes. Some of them, if they're a little crusty and kind of chalky, you can kind of chuck those and make those experimental. But otherwise, there's wonderful different packages that you can get on either on cheapjoe.com or Blick's Art Supplies has some wonderful packets, and I'm going to be showing some of those to you today. Wonderful. So for the first part is, I felt that a nice segment to work with is to do art with journaling and meditation. A lot of people find it very intimidating to do art. They think that it has to look a certain way. So if you just kind of work intuitively of what feels good. I mean, here it is, we're in spring, so that you can go around and find inspiration everywhere that you go. Most everybody has a phone that has a camera on it. You can take some photographs and you can work off of your phone, or you can go on location. And that's also a nice thing about journaling, is that you can bring that with you and bring all you need is your pen, right? So here I'm going to just show you some samples. This is a workshop that I do offer in my studio and online on Zoom if there's something you would like to do. So here it is. I have a nice little book here. This is a watercolor journaling book. And in it is going to have paper on one side and watercolor on the other. So here's one page showing you how we got started. And notice that it is writing and watercolor at the same time. So people will ask me, how do you know what supplies to use on the paper? Well, you'd want to use waterproof ink, correct? So I'm going to be beginning to do the process here on an easel. That's not something I would normally do, obviously, for a journal. It's just for demonstration reasons. I will do it that way. So I'll go through this book just to show you how much fun it is. Remember, each one of these takes a couple of hours to do, so please don't be intimidated. This was done through a workshop through me, and there are simpler versions that you can find on Pinterest or on YouTube. So here it is. We have the writing and we have some of the art, and you want the writing to just really flow. You want it to be about yourself, about your feelings of the day. There's plenty of journals that you can get at Barnes & Noble that you can pick on what to reflect and write on. No problem with that. What else? So this is an angel theme one. So let me just show you what it says here. Honor yourself with love. I am special because I help others and I hold the space for vibration and love of others. So this is a personal journey. There's nothing here that says it's right or wrong, but I do suggest that when you do journaling, that you perhaps do that in a longer format, in a journal which it has what they call college ruled writing. And then you pick one or two phrases that you like that kind of hone in on what you're feeling for the day, and those are the ones that you would write here on your personal journal. So here it again is larger letters. You can kind of practice some calligraphy, which is a lot of fun. And also, just like everybody else, I don't always have time to finish everything, so I just have a start here. You could also use mixed media, which is here you have some tempera paint or some acrylics. So again, you don't have to invest a lot to create yourself your own art journal. It could be what you have. The other nice thing about here is that, remember back in the day, everybody did stamping. Well, what are you going to do with those stamps? Well, you can use stamping in your journaling, right? And perhaps you made a little mistake or a boo-boo, right? Here, these are actual blocks of watercolor that has been cut out. So if you kind of got a little ink spot, it's a perfect way to camouflage it, right? And it looks kind of nice. And it gives it a 3D effect. Same thing here. Believe it or not, these are also collaged on also. And the other cool thing is this, if you go up close, has a texture. This is colored pencils. So all of these layering can be done, and the colored pencils might be a little less intimidating for people who don't want to do watercolor, because you can erase it off, right? But for the demonstration that I'm going to be showing you now, I'm going to be doing watercolor. The other paper I could show you is, this is another type of journal. So that one was watercolor. This one says here, crescent. Believe it or not, this is cartoon paper that I just put lines in. And this really receives well the colored pencils. And again, you can put on these really cool tape. I know you're going to be like, I can't draw a person, so you can trace it. Remember back in the day when you traced? What are the ones that I want to show you? This is a lot of fun. This one has ink and watercolor. So the trick is to know the layering process, which I will go through in my demonstration. But for the most part, you want to put your watercolor down first and then put in your ink. Don't put your colored pencils on till the end because they're made out of wax and you can't get your ink on top of that or your watercolor. It's the last thing you would put on. The other thing I do in my workshops, I don't really do much sketching first because I want you to kind of interpret where the paint is going to go and you're kind of going to go with the flow, as it says here. If you want to do a sketch first, you can. This is the one I'll be demonstrating today. This is a really nice one. It says, bloom where you are planted. And again, the words are something that would be for yourself. Bloom where you are planted, I am releasing the patterns that no longer serve me, so my roots may grow. I am allowing the petals of the lotus flower to provide me with protection and carry me through the vibration of love. So this is what I wrote that resonates with me, but you would do what resonates with you. And again, you're looking at this and you're thinking, how am I going to get all this color on? I'm only going to do a small demonstration here and show you that each one is layered. I don't know about you, but when I eat ice cream, I eat it really slow. So why would I want to rush through a process that I'm really feeling good about, right? So don't feel rushed at all. You can pick it up where you left off, kind of a thing. Okay? So that's sort of the journaling. The other part that I really like to encourage people to do is meditation with it. Go this way, yeah. So you can go on YouTube and you can put in waterfall sounds. They even have ones that have visual imagery for you if you're kind of like lacking your dream sense where you're like, I can't visualize anything when I'm dreaming. They have really cool ones that could show you any part of the world. You just Google that. I love those, and they're great visualization techniques to just get people to relax. So you can either do a little meditation. The other thing is you can Google meditation music and put that on while you're painting, or even if you're out walking outside and just put one headset in and just walk through nature and kind of feel like you're tuning in to the essence. The other thing I want to say about meditation is people think it's all and they're just going to sit there and wait until this energy comes in. It's just about connecting with nature and taking a few breaths. You can do that anywhere you are. If you're finding yourself in a difficult situation, just recenter yourself, whether that means removing yourself out of the room or just going outside and getting a little sun on your face. And that just kind of grounds you, we call it. So I encourage my students to take a few breaths before they get into the creative process, because then their head will be in a better space. You don't want to have your negative voice on your shoulder saying, you can't do this, what is this, I don't know. That's sort of not going to go well, right? So you want to kind of bring in your positive and intuitive sense. And so when you put music on, it kind of keeps that part of the brain a little bit entertained. It's a little trick that us artists do in our studios. We kind of like leave it entertained with the music in the background. So music is important. I prefer music that doesn't have any words to it because it's relaxing. And the other part of it is the writing. So people will ask me what kind of journal. I mean, this is just a regular notebook. You can pick that up anywhere. I'm going to use the word of 3. So 3 breaths to make yourself centered, like now. Taking a deep breath in and relaxing. Another deep breath in and exhale. And you can find with each breath, you just find yourself just feeling a little bit more relaxed than the moment before. And then as far as the writing, you could go with the rule of 3 as well. You can write 3 pages, you can write 3 minutes. Again, it's just to kind of give yourself distance from what's happening so that you can find your centered self. And you will find that you will become a little bit maybe happier throughout the day because you've given yourself that little mini retreat. this is what art does for me, and this is the combination that I have done with art, journaling, and meditation together. I hope you try that. Okay, so let's do a little bit of demonstrating. So very quick on the supplies. Again, I don't want anybody stressing. You can just pick up, I'm a flat brush painter, so you can pick up some flat brushes or round ones, whichever one you like. Again, this is about, you know, trying on a blouse and you happen to like button down versus pullover. It's whatever you like, okay? So pick up whatever you would like. They have little packets. The other cool thing is they have these little watercolor palettes. Amazon, any of your art stores. Look how cool. Everything is right there. All the little colors. This is a travel brush. I do paint on an airplane, and they're very particular as you can't carry a liquid. There's only a little bit of liquid in there, so it's going to be a good thing. And you can put a little piece of paper there and paint. So this is one little travel palette that I use. And the other one I use is this one. Why? Because this one has a gazillion colors. And it's just because I like all the colors. You do have to be mindful because the little things inside will pop out. Kind of makes you crazy if you don't know the order, but check out what I did on the top here. When you get a new palette, you do little samples, and I'm going to do a little demo to show you how to do that, because look how dark they are. You can't tell what color they are, right? Right. Okay, so I'll do that. Alrighty, so let's go and start this. Oh boy, okay. So as I was mentioning, you wanted to see what colors were on the palette. So here's a little tiny little sample here, and you're just going to make a little, I'm going to just show you how you would make a little color swatch. And so here's our orange. Oops. Now the paints are dry when you get them. You just have to hit them with a little water to reconstitute them. And this is Arches 140-pound cold pressed paper. It's very thick. It's not an inexpensive paper, but it really holds well on its own. So here's, let's say, an orange. And then you want to do it in the order that it is in your palette, so that this way when you do your little chart and you look down, you know where everything is. But look how simple that is. Just this act is relaxing to people. It's very zen. Look, it doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't look like anything, but it's just fun to just feel like you're getting involved with painting, right? Right. So that's one thing I would suggest you do. Get familiar with your materials. This is just a regular paper towel. This is just a little bit of water. That's all you would need, right? Okay, so I'm just going to show you this little sample of how I would start this process of this journaling of the flowers. We are in flower season, so you can pick whatever flower of your choice is. Okay, let's see if I can get this up here. I have stained the paper. They call this ahead of time, which means I have put a very light wash on and let it dry. When you are staining the paper and you are doing this process, you want to make sure that the paper is bone dry. Bone dry means like this. Super, super dry. Why? Because it will buckle and the paint won't receive well, they call that. So I will close this so it doesn't get dirty. Again, if you feel a need that you need to see exactly what color you're doing and you want to do color swatches, if you want a certain color flower, by all means make that. But again, this is about the freedom of just having fun. All right, so what size brush would I start with? Well, I think I'm going to do this 1-inch brush. Again, I've stained the paper. I'm a little far from the palette. Okay, let's see. So the first thing I probably would do is, if I do a yellow, it's not really going to show up too well, so I'm going to do sort of like an orange. So I'll start with this corner so it looks similar to that one. So I'm basically just going to come around in a circle. Again, don't flip out. I don't sketch first because I don't want the anxiety of worrying about being in the lines. Okay, again, this is about being fun. All I'm doing is making little dashes like this. Little dashes. And I'm changing the color as I get closer in. So what does that mean? I started with an orange on the outside, and now I'm doing a little bit of a purple on the inside. You can't really see that, but that's what I'm doing here in my palette. And remember, the color that is underneath is going to show through a little bit because it is transparent, right? Now, if it's not vibrant enough for me, I can go back with either a darker color or a second value, they call this. Like this. See? So this is similar to here, what's on the bottom here, as you see. Here's your orange. I can come in between. And I'm squinting my eyes, as I said last time, because I love Botox. No, it's because I'm looking at the values. Crazy. It's okay. And I talk to my artwork, which is all fun and good. Now I'm going to go dip into I'm going to look for a lime green. And again, I'm going to look at my color chart, because I can't really tell from this darkness here. And I'm going to come in with some green. Think petals, okay? Again, if you feel a need to do a botanical drawing where you need to know the exact leaf or the exact flower, by all means, go get reference material. Go cut some flowers and put them next to you for inspiration. But this is all about kind of doodling with the paint. Now, most people would be painting flat. So there's a whole big dynamic that changes because I'm upright here. But for the sake of demonstration reasons, I am a little higher like this. So now the next space here is this other flower. I'll show you that. So as this process goes on, remember, I'm not in a sketchbook. I'm just on a piece of paper here. You would decide how big the flower is going to be, whether you're going to put words in here or not. So either words come first, art comes first. That's really truly up to you. And why does it really matter? Why are we giving ourselves such boundaries? Why can't we just have fun? Remember when you were little and you got paints and you were 6 years old and you just doodled for the sake of doodling because it was so much fun? What's wrong with that? We kind of live in a space where there's so many rules. Why don't we just make it up as we go along? So that kind of gives you a little bit of an indication. So the only thing I wanted to do, the only thing I would change here, besides the fact that this is dripping in, is again, I'm squinting my eyes, is you want the values to be a little bit different. So darks and lights. So if this is something that you like, I do a Zoom workshop in which we do this together. Like I said, you can probably Google that or find some really good books on doing some creative journaling. I just wanted to have, so what I'm just wanted to finish just so the corner looks complete is the negative space. Negative space is the space in between, like I'm positive my body, and in between here is the negative space. So I'm trying to just fill in the negative space before I move on. Again, this is a visual thing. If I felt that I wanted to stop at this point, I would, but this is just my own thing that I just want to make it look like it has some completion here. There you go, it's much better. Because so now it's making the shape that I'm not making. See how this now pops out a little bit? See, it kind of looks like it's in a garden a little bit. And again, this would put maybe a second application of color, as you can see here on my sample. Because everything is interesting once you have more than one color value, right? See, and this is dry brush because it's already dried a little bit, so there's another technique here. So again, I'm encouraging you just to have a little bit of fun, going out and grabbing some paper, doing some doodling, and then just putting on some music and just doing a couple of deep breaths to kind of just relax and zone in on your own creative process. If this is something that you like, I'll be having some workshops on location too, where we're going to be meditating with lilacs. And as you can see behind me, I'm featuring Mother Mary here. So for the month of May, I'm going to be having a Mother Mary crowning workshop, which is really fun on location with fresh flowers. This is also done in the same technique that I just showed you, but that's a lot of fun. And then over here, this is a painting that's going to be featured at the Palace in Somerset, New Jersey. If you don't recognize where that is Madison Square Garden, and featuring obviously the Empire State Building. And this is a technique that I'm known for. This is the 40th painting in a series, and you'll have to look at my website to see when that is going to be featured at a pop-up gallery. But anyway, this is the one I wanted to show. It's going to be on display on May 20th. What other things can I tell you? Oh, the Psychic Fair is coming up June 5th. The other thing too I want to mention is everybody has an iPhone, so I'm going to be doing an iPhone class on how to take really great pictures. And it's not just about the pictures itself, it's what to take and what not to take. Similar to in your journal. What do you want to write in there? What do you not want to write in there? It's all about making the decision of what works for you, right? Meditation, Mother Mary, and then I'll have art journaling. Hello. which is a lot of fun. So if that's something that's up your alley, I am lisafazioartist.com or lisafazioartist@gmail.com if you would like to send me a message and ask me a question about the materials. Again, you can find them at any really reputable art store in the neighborhood. But I hope that this inspired you to get out and do some sketching or to do some journaling, put on some headphones, and just kind of zone out into your own creative process. Talk to you soon. Thanks again.